And we are live, Matt. Now, that doesn't
Are
mean
we
everyone
right?
has tuned in yet, but we're actually
Great.
live.
Hey, awesome.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. So, Matt, what are we doing today?
Braga, yes, it's going to be a bit of an extension. Hey, everyone. It's a follow on from the things that we did with an AMA in respect to the things that we couldn't cover, obviously, as well as trying to think of a few new things that we can do. So, Braga, yeah, what have we got planned?
Yeah. All right. So, I'll just bring up my actual Tana, why don't I?
Yeah.
So, we are experimenting with better ways to keep you all up to date on the things that are happening with Tana, with the community, and basically keeping in touch and listening to you guys so that you actually can see us do that. So, this is one of those experiments. If this goes well, we're thinking about doing this on the regular, having these office hours every month or every other week, whatever feels more comfortable and useful to us and the community. So that's what we're doing. And as you said, we're extending the AMA. There was a lot of questions we didn't quite get to and we want to dive deep on. So this is the arena. Um, oh, there's
Great.
a lot of chats already. I'm going to bring a couple of them up on stage. So we can say hi to everyone.
Hi, Kate.
Oh, this is lovely. Okay, we won't spend too much time on this.
Yes.
This is too
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Coffee
Okay.
with Matt and Braga sounds nice, Andrea.
Yeah, I love that. I don't have coffee though. Do you?
I got a ton of tea in
Oh,
my
fair
tiny
enough. I
cup. So,
got my Tana water bottle. That's my
yeah, right.
closest thing.
Nice. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, it's going great so far.
great. Yes.
Okay,
And that's what
yes.
we got.
So
Thanks for tuning in the tea and coffee chat.
yeah. That's all this is. Okay, we said those three things. Let's get on to the announcements. So we are going to structure this in a way. We'll try and take questions as we see them, but we have some things we want to get through as well. So if we don't get to all questions, apologies. We'll try and get to them in the community Slack as well. Announcements. So the one big thing we want to announce today, it's not a product thing. It's more kind of the arena to talk about this. And Matt, what is that?
Yes, you've been working hard with Grim on this to synthesize some of the stuff that has happened along with others in the team, obviously. So it is our roadmap or public post that describes the things that we're working on.
Yes, and with that comes the start of what will be the Tana blog, where we can post updates and interesting articles about the use of Tana and the vision of Tana and all of these things that we wanted to share in writing, so you can find it at any time. So I'll just get into the actual blog of the roadmap, a much requested, much
Yeah.
requested item.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who weren't here in the AMA, I've linked the AMA at the top of the article. Grim's gone through the roadmap with us here. We're trying to avoid not the term roadmap, we're trying to clarify how we think about these things. And Grim talks about this in the video, but super condensed down. We can talk about the long-term plan of Tana quite easily. We know what the vision is. We know where we're going long term. And we know what we're working on right now. So short term, what the current chapter of development is. But like middle term, these kind of not quite now, but sometime in the future is very hard to nail down and pinpoint. So the roadmap of Tana is going to be this. It's the current chapter of development. And you can read all about this on the blog. We'll post this in the community as well. So you can go through what the tracks we're working on right now are, what are the specifics of those, and yeah, like we said in the AMA, if what you're curious about doesn't fall under these categories, then we probably won't get to those. This chapter is going to be a later chapter, and we'll go through some specifics as well a bit later, right?
Yep, for sure. We've got a bit to cover.
Okay. So I guess that's it for the blog. You can read that at your leisure. We're not going to go through everything here. You can actually do it in writing finally. So,
But just for a bit of a summary, Braga, what are we working on now? What's the short-term plan?
well, there's a couple of tracks that we're working on with Tana. First of all, we are doubling down on making Tana easier and better for new users. So the learning curve goes down. It should be easier to use
Yeah.
Tana. That's guidance, that's better initial setups for your workspace, etc., and some other changes concretely towards this goal. And obviously, as we've mentioned before, we are making mobile for iOS, Android, maybe not Windows Mobile this round, but we are working on that as well. We'll talk a bit more about that, but so we have targets to get that out soonish. And everything else is along the same lines, making Tana faster, more accessible, and making some of the core aspects of Tana, like search, easier, like just making Tana smoother and better and faster for everyone. And also,
Yeah.
final focus is making the use of AI less kind of experimental and more product. So it should be easier for non-power users to get more out of Tana AI.
Yeah, and Grim gave some really good detail on that last week. As well, he mentioned offline last week. What are the state of offline? We get a lot of requests on that.
So some of the things that we're doing to build mobile also makes offline easier to do. This is about how we load the graph and what files we actually bring to you locally versus up in the cloud. I think what he said was there will be some offline functionality. We are looking at specific offline use cases, but we're not going, at least at this stage, in any way towards fully local first.
Yeah, okay. But there will be some version of offline that's in the future for Tana.
Yes, we have to have that. We have to have some kind of. You have to be able to work on the plane. We have to be able to do stuff when you don't have internet. And like Grim said in the AMA, Norway has very good internet. So this might actually be a blind spot, just because like you go to your cottage cabin in the mountains and you still have 5G and perfect connections. So that might be one of the reasons.
Yeah, for sure. And it still comes up. I think Daniel had a good post on that in the community this week. So yeah, awesome. Great. Okay, what's next?
What's next? Let's go back to our agenda and Tana. We've debuted a blog. We've talked about that. All right. We are going to the post-AMA, AMA recap. Matt, talk us through a bit about the things that we need to talk about after the live stream last week with the founders.
Yep, great. Okay, I just wanted to summarize what we did last week as well as what we didn't cover, and also some of the things that happened after before we move on to other things. So firstly, just a bit of thanks for the feedback. Excellent during the live stream. Obviously, we can get it to all of it. But yes, Grim's public debut with some of the key ideas. Clearly, he's been working on these ideas for a long time with Tajay and Olav, of kind of a life's work, really. So it was really well received and really nice to see all the positive feedback that came in. Also, really note that having an opinion was something that was really well received as well. People kind of said thank you for that, and that's something that we really noted as well.
And when you say having an opinion, that means saying stuff like
saying no to things. So Grim would actually say no to certain things with some rationale behind the no. I think it's a thoughtful perspective to not rule things out, because it shows you're really considering a lot of detail, but also it's also really clarifying sometimes to hear no's. So can understand both perspectives there, and it was really cool to see the feedback on that. Mobile too, we showed the demo last week, and yes, awesome feedback from everyone. Thank you for the excitement. Also, yes, the patience. It's been an epic journey for the team, exploring a lot of stuff to get to here, but we're really close now. So it's getting there, and always fun to talk. After a few hard weeks in the community, taking a lot of effort, a lot of feedback. It was also really cool just to get in front of people and have some positivity. So thank you for all that attended last week, as well as the comments after. It really means a lot and helps us keep moving too. And also related to that, a lot of the feedback that came in, I'm not going to show it all, but certainly there was some feedback of things that we need to do, as well as a lot of positivity in that feedback as well. So some of the things that I just took out, more detail on the roadmap. I think we're going to do that very clearly. A few ideas about the actual structure of the AMA, in the sense that we couldn't cover all things, but we will cover a few more things today, as well as some suggestions for other things. So more often, quarterly, something we really want to do, detail on the founder's goals and vision. That's certainly something that will come out in the blog. And also, some new ideas. So perhaps sessions on particular features with the team. So exploring them, more to come, and a few other things that probably want to start to do from here. We will definitely do AMAs regularly now, as well as our quarterly focus, which we've done previously. I think we're back on with those as well. And then the office hours. Brage, what's the point and intent of these, and how often, and what are we starting to think about these?
Say that again, please.
What is the intent, kind of focus, frequency?
Yeah, for the office hours. Yeah, so like I said, we are going to evaluate the cost benefit for the community ourselves. We'll be very curious to hear what you think, because we want to make this, we want to make the work that we do in the community relevant and fun and useful to everyone. We're thinking monthly or bi-weekly, whatever makes most sense. Obviously, like if we release a lot of features, we have a lot to talk about. In periods where we're more kind of heads down fixing some things, it might not be as interesting. We'll see, but that's kind of that's where our thinking is right now.
Yeah. Okay. And also pretty fun, hopefully. So lighthearted, a little bit less formal over time.
Yeah. On that note, let's just bring up an important comment here. Just a second, Matt. Oh, this interface is going a bit slowly. Here we go. Important question, but we'll get back to that. Is Matt going to dance?
No.
Okay. Right. Let's keep going.
Okay, good. Yes, another thing was a response to unlinked references, which also came out last week. So a kind of a reversal in terms of the actual feature. Initially removed, taken out with good intent to improve and update, and then some really strong feedback from people to say that it was missing, which is also fantastic to receive. And then Asker and team took it out from there. So thank you for that feedback, as well as the response to that as well. And Brage, you spoke to Asker this week about this too.
Yes, I did. I did pin him down and get him to explain himself. So I do actually have a recording. If you want us to share Askar's thoughts about this, what do you reckon?
Sure.
Yeah, let's bring him up.
Definitely.
All right, so I'm just walking home from a mobile workshop that we did here in Oslo. Beautiful day in Oslo today, and I figured I might as well spend the time delivering on Brage's request. So Brage seems to believe that in this company, if you make a mistake, you go on camera and you repent, which is what I'm doing. So I'm the guy who killed unlinked references, or who fought to get it killed. I'm also the guy who brought it back, which kind of makes me a hero. But Brage wanted me to tell the story briefly about what went wrong there. So I'm not going to mention the reasons we removed it, because that has been mentioned in various posts in the last few weeks. But the decision was made based on the fact that almost no one clicks the link button, which is the primary action in that section. So next to each unlinked ref, there is a button that will create an actual reference or a link. And hardly anyone clicks it. Like less than 1% of the active users, which is nothing for any feature in Tana. So based on that, I figured it would be safe to kill this feature, which is severely underperforming, and then bring it back when we have an awesome solution that handles abbreviations and aliases and all the fantastic stuff we would like to deliver here. And so I did. I killed it. And what I didn't realize was that a lot of the value comes from it just being there. To many users, it kind of feels like the link has already been made. I'm seeing the content. I shouldn't have to explicitly link it up, or it's not obvious why you should. So yeah, I looked at the data, I interpreted them incorrectly or had an incomplete picture, and messed up that feature for a few weeks for all of you. So yeah, this is me repenting as I'm walking home, and yeah, it's now back. Thanks to everyone who provided their feedback, thoughtful and clear feedback concerning this issue. And then I'm hoping that at some point we can go back and redesign this and solve all the issues that it currently has. All right.
So that was Oscar apologizing. I didn't ask him to apologize. I just said he needed to come clean here.
Apologize.
And I think it might be like interesting just to like pause briefly and talk about like why we're going back and forth on this, which might seem like a very tiny feature of Tana, and talk more about like what unlinked references is kind of a part of. So like unlinked references is kind of a part of the package, and let's not go into the details, but it's about basically when you're on a node showing you what is relevant information, like, and from other places in your graph. And a lot of different features like related content and the much discussed bidirectional fields like have kind of a similar purpose in that. So like whether or not it's unlinked references that's going to be the final iteration, that's the area we're trying to solve. So just so people know kind of the reason we spend a lot of time on these tiny things, that's the kind of dream that the right information should always be presented.
Yeah, that's good feedback. I guess the other thing I think of with unlinked references is in Tana, you don't designate pages. Everything's a node, which means that you can get single syllables, words as unlinked references, which often may not be of use, but clearly feedback was otherwise. Sometimes those one word nodes can be of value too. So yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag, but I love that the team is listening and exploring that as well.
Yeah,
so yeah, good work, Askia. All right, next thing wanted to do was talk through some of these individual features that we didn't get to quite cover in the AMA, or if we did, there was some feedback or discussion after them. So let's run through one of these, one by one, and just have a quick conversation on these, Brage.
Yeah.
LaTeX. So in the community afterwards, there was a few people who were a little bit upset at the fact that Grim said no to LaTeX. So Bill, I think, said this, and Darren, I think, was the other one in here. Yeah. So yeah, any ideas on LaTeX?
No, I think it has to fall into the category of not this chapter. Could be a part of the long-term vision. I think that's kind of the best way to describe it. Like that's the essence we're trying to convey when we talk about this. Our idea of a roadmap is that we know what we're building right now. And maybe LaTeX is a part of future developments, but it's not a part of the current kind of chapter of Tana work. Is that not a good way to talk about it?
It does. I think so. That makes sense. Yep. It's clearly not a no, but it's also not a yes right now. And also can see the importance of it for those that are doing academic work or maths, etc. Yeah, can see how that would be agitating, but it's not.
There's a lot of things we want to do.
Yes, for sure. The other one was formula fields. Nico this week after the AMA said this. In the AMA today, Grim said that formula fields were not in this chapter or the next, and that's because of technical details that make it difficult. I'd really love to know what those are. So a good question there from Nico, and one that you've followed up this week as well.
Yeah, so I spoke with Grim and asked him to talk a bit more about this, and he actually did a Tana Publish where he went through kind of both the overview of these things that we offer today and the difficulties of like the reasons why it's not the simplest challenge to solve considering Tana's complexity. So I'll just share this in the thread in the Slack community after the office hours so people can have a look for themselves.
Yeah, that's great. So some good detail in why formulas are still important, but obviously a lot more complex than perhaps just something that we can just plug in.
And just to, like, Grim mentioned this in the Founders AMA, but we have had like an early kind of prototype of formulas that are more advanced. Like, it's not that we don't think it's important, but like, and the thing that we had, like, it was fun. It had some really cool use cases. There's obvious value, but it was just super brittle, and we need to make it, like, we have to have the time to make it really, really good and solve some really hard problems before we actually make it into the product.
Yeah, I mean, I think that relates to some of the feedback on paper cuts as well. So not just releasing features with more paper cuts, but actually trying to really get through them. Yep, cool. Board view, which came up as well. I saw board view. Does this mean whiteboard function? When will this be? This chapter or next chapter? So I think Grim showed a few images in the AMA too. So the question was board view. Any insights on or updates on that?
No insights from me. Do you have any insights on that?
No, I think it's just this, not this chapter. I know that Grim's exploring. We've had obviously GraphView as well, that as a prototype, but not something that's actively coming out soon.
We have several experimental views that we try out and play around with. So, and it might suddenly be that this solves a very important problem for what we're trying to achieve now, but it's not up on the board at least.
Yeah, for sure.
The board.
Talk to mobile excitement. Yes, talked about that. Also, thanks for the enthusiasm there. I just want to reiterate the timelines on mobile, aiming for end of September or early October. So that's really when we're looking to move out and moving into our first round of testers currently. So no need to reach out. We've got enough testers, but we'll certainly start to explore more and more from there. So how did you think the demo went for mobile, and more generally, how are you finding mobile, Brage?
Yeah, I find the new Tana mobile, testing it internally, it's super useful. And I think it's going to be really well received.
What about?
Go on.
Yeah, not to cut you off, but has it changed your perspective on voice, or are you thinking about voice in any new ways?
Yeah. No, I don't want to, this is super exciting, but I think, it really has changed the way I view voice workflows. And one of my favorite things about Tana, because before I joined Tana, I was in the Tana community building workflows and specific apps and stuff. And one of my favorite things is the fact that you can build these super customized, really powerful, specific workflows and AI apps for your own kind of knowledge work. And the ability to send knowledge to specific places in Tana, there's obvious combinations here with other Tana features you love, like events and commands and these things. So I think combining voice with the already kind of existing powerful Tana features is super exciting. The most exciting.
About events too. I think that one's went a little bit under the radar. I mean, it's still in a pretty early state, but it really opened up a new horizon for what is possible, and started making me think about new workflows of really sending things to different places and seeing them transform automatically in terms of sequences and so forth. So the idea
to catch people up to speed if they don't remember events, can I just jump in and say events are basically automatic ways of triggering your commands in Tana. Commands in Tana can be set up to do pretty much anything Tana can do, plus a lot of AI stuff. And events is basically rules for when these things happen without you clicking buttons. So when
a node arrives, exactly.
So there's a question, actually. I just want to jump. There's a question from Twitter. Rikash asks, is Tana free? Or is there a trial scheme? And yes, we have a freemium model. Tana has free functionality and premium features.
Yeah, there's Tana Free and Tana Core. Probably that's a good opportunity to reflect on Tana Free. We've got a lot of great feedback on Tana Core and a lot of subscribers, but I'm really proud of and excited about Tana Free. The team pushed really hard to not make that a kind of artificial level, but instead there's just a lot of power that's been given to that. So it could have been a intermediate level there, but to see that really become a free product that people can use regardless of circumstance and situation, and a really great intro to explore Tana, and not just the superficial features, but you get the real core experience of Outliner. Everything's a node, super tags, search nodes. It really is like the full Tana from 12 to 18 months ago. So
yes, it's exactly that.
It's a really a powerful thing as well.
Can we cover a couple of questions before we go on? Because there's a couple of good ones here, and I think this might be the arena for it. So Gerwin asks, what priority has sharing content got? And I think I'll just answer and say it has high priority. We know that it's a super important part of your workflows. That's why we made Tana Publish, and obviously this is something we look at.
Yeah, and obviously heard a lot of feedback on exports too. I think the work that Grim discussed last week will open up a lot of that as well. So very important. Any others?
Other ways to organize linked references, Priosh asks, and I don't think there is now. This is an area we're iterating on, making this powerful.
Yeah, Asker has talked in the past about the state of unlinked references as a bit of a prototype with more to come. But definitely still pretty powerful, but yeah, needs to a lot more to come on that.
And Theo gives a better answer than we did to this, obviously, because you can right-click sections and create searches from your references. So thank you, Theo, for being better than us at Tana.
Yes, and live.
Okay. Yes. All right. Awesome. Let's
also
get back on.
Wanted to say on Tana Publish as well. We just skipped over it, but something that came to my head is you can share with Tana Publish now because you can add passwords to it. So if it's something important, you can actually clearly add passwords to make sure it's not shared and send it off to someone. So yeah, it's powerful already and will continue to improve.
Yeah, this is really cool for like meeting notes when you use the Tana meeting agent and then you process the notes and then you can quickly use Tana Publish to share these with other people that may not have Tana access as a fun use case.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else on mobile?
No, unless people are like screaming to see the demo again, I think we can move on.
Okay. Yep. So the demo is available in last week's AMA. We can share it as well. But the timeline's coming well. All right. Next one, long form. So there was obviously long form comes up a lot. It's in ideas.tana frequently, and Param put this pretty nice post last week about reflecting on the role of line breaks and things like that, document mode. So yeah, any updates on long form, or let's just have a brief discussion on long form, short long form.
Yeah, we know it's important to some people, to many people in their workflows. I think that's all we can really say. I think because Grim reflected on it for the current chapter. What was your takeaway from that?
I think it was that Tana will never be Microsoft Word, and if you're looking to write a novel, it's probably not our first priority. And the traditional paragraph form of prose is not native to us yet. The team have obviously got a lot of ideas on document view, where you can kind of use an outline and transform it into a traditional document, but they're pretty early stages on that, or pending other developments.
So this is just a really good segue into another question here, which is like, how do you write books, or how do you write long form in Tana? What's the native way in Tana from Brage here on the YouTube chat? And because I do this, I have a book setup in Tana that I use for long form writing. And although we don't have like whatever you would call like a long form document mode, like once you fully embrace the power and kind of the limitations of working in Tana, working in this kind of fractal way from like outlining headlines and working into the details, but also using searches and super tags. So in this question is, what's the best way to have, like, if you write a page, if you write notes over time for a book, how do you set up these super tags to kind of bring all your notes together? And I wouldn't say there's a best way, but like just reflecting on it, you can do 1,000 things in Tana that you couldn't do in a document. For instance, gathering all your ideas and notes from a book in one place, gathering like your character gallery, your scenes, your settings, moving them about in a way that a long form traditional stuff wouldn't do. So it has power. It just isn't the same.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, even working at the sentence level, linked references, being able to edit one and it show up everywhere, very powerful. So yeah, I think it's Tana is an outliner. Outliners are a type of tool. They are adjacent to traditional doc mode editors, and I think they offer something different, but recognizing that we also need to bridge both. So the team are aware of that with document view. And
great summary.
Yeah. Not this chapter.
No.
Cool. Great. The other one that came up after was Marta noticed, what's this one? Yep. If I click on this, Martin, notice this. In the AMA, things blew my mind was a magic trick Grim performed, which was essentially do what I just did then, which was press spacebar and it focuses in on an image or highlights the image. So yes, this update isn't released yet, but it is coming soon and is one of those small improvements that the team are really aware of and will continue to work on, like the paper cut idea, where it's a lot of small incremental improvements in these ideas or features can really make a powerful difference in daily workflows. So yeah, nice update there and good noticing, Martin, too. Hopefully you enjoy that one when it comes out.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. For others, please let us know. I'm sure we haven't covered all of them. Those threads were very long, but we did get the majority of them, I think. But if there's anything else, reach out to us or add it to the chat and see if we can add some context on them.
Yes. Great.
Okay. AMA is done. Next one. Let's go to ideas. That actually came up. Ken put a post in today. I won't be able to make it today, but would love to submit a question. What's the plan moving forward for ideas.tana? So for those that are new, ideas.tana is where we have our traditional ideas board. It's a place for feature requests that people can put up, but they're not called feature requests. We're after problem requests, largely because we're trying to do it the Tana way, which is a little bit different in respect to how it works. We recognize that we've got an insanely talented dev team who have been thinking about, and product team that have been thinking about these ideas for such a long time, and they know Tana incredibly well. So coming with problems that you are looking to address can really be the catalyst for new types of ideas that can radically change parts of Tana too. So that's probably the thinking behind why we think of them as problem requests. But with that said, I also think we've got a few things that we need to do better on this and starting to move forward on this as well. So I tried to write out a few things. Firstly, the signaling and acknowledgement, that's one thing we need to do a lot better. People are writing their requests up there or submissions, and they're feeling that they're going into the void or they're not getting active feedback from us directly in the team is something that we definitely need to address and work on. We do bring them into Tana, and for example, this is the ones from last week. So new post from last week discussing, this one's from Darren, and we obviously reference that to the related feature too. So we give some context and where it fits when people are searching and so forth in the team, and also bring in what's voted or popular each week or currently, and the same ones that reflected in the top 10 most voted of all time are also there. So they all link back to the original posts, as well as these are the big ones that we know that people want and are voted for frequently. So it's not just static. And these, also just to finish off, this was some of the comments from this week as well. So we're bringing it all in. We're trying to do things with it. It's not just statically sitting there, but it's not enough at the moment in terms of the signaling and how we do things with it from there. Need to fix this a little bit. And probably we're going to start with this. We've got the categorizations on the idea status and we're not really actively using them. But now that our roadmap is out, I think we can more actively categorize them and kind of say what is what. So that's probably the next task. And then just the other thing is like throughput, better clarity on how feature requests are acted upon or influence Tana. That's an incredibly difficult thing to articulate when the team is exploring a lot of ideas, trying to say what impact did this one particular sentence have on the thinking. It's one component of a lot of different inputs, but and that's probably the challenge. It's not a direct correlation between submission and output, but certainly there's so many good ideas on there that they clearly have an influence. Trying to explore a few different things to help with that. So a quarterly review, perhaps, with some of the founders and product teams who are making decisions on that, so they can really give some direct feedback in terms of those things. Yeah, a few more blog posts from the founders and us about exploring the process end to end, and probably more performance on that input to making sure that the team really do it. We do regularly present them to the team for weekly summaries, but we haven't. Yeah, we've got to get more consistent on making it clear. And like a really big idea, which I really would love to do, and probably would start to really express what influence it does have, is link reference with refs for when particular submissions get discussed in meetings, for example, as opposed to just saying status like, moved or transferred to the Tana team workspace. If you could see a log of like, Askia or Ingrid or Grim discuss this in this meeting on this day, and see what they said, that would be incredible, I think. So
Yeah,
that's probably the vision, but we're just not there yet, and recognize that we got to do more. So next steps, change the statuses, and then trying to schedule a few more events and direct feedback with the team as a first step.
Excellent.
Cool. All right, next one, Brage, over to you. We got releases. So these are the most recent or coming up, or releases that are coming to soon. Are they, or already out?
Yes. So all of these things should be out right now, but the top one is actually pushed back one day. I will spill the beans in any case. It's too late to change now. So I'm just going to go through some of the recent changes to Tana, and we thought this might be a fun way to talk about it. Maybe some questions come up in chat, so you can pay attention there, Matt, and then we can kind of learn these things together. So the default field values or done state changes. These are two kind of core changes to how we do things with a couple of ways super tags apply field values to instances. So I'll just explain both really quickly. So default field values are if you go into the config of a super tag and inside the field, you set which kind of value should be the default in that field. Once you apply that tag somewhere, that value will appear in the field for that instance, for the instances. However, the way this worked before, and I think still works until tomorrow, is that the value isn't actually set on the instance. It's kind of just a ghost representation of the value inside this super tag default. So if you had 50 tasks and they've all inherited like the status field default value of backlog, if you then, and you haven't changed that value since, if you go and change a new default value to, instead of backlog, in progress, then all of these unchanged, these ghost values will update as well. Now, why does this matter? First, and now they wouldn't. Now, the big change now is that once you tag a node, the default value is applied to the field of the instance. So there's an actual value in the field of the instance, not just a representation of the super tag default. So why do we spend a lot of time on this? Why do we talk about this? Why is it important? This is just an important data point for the system of Tana for mobile. Basically, mobile and making Tana faster. It's about what data around a node do we need to load each time we load a node. Can we contain it to just like the local values? And this makes a difference. And it's basically an important step to being able to use mobile. So for some people, there might be some changes here that they are, I think most people won't notice this. A couple of people will. And we're interested to hear what they think, but we're like, this is an important thing. And I think it's good. It's a good change.
In my experience, I don't know using default values in super tag templates is that common. It's not a standard. Most people don't do that, but I can see that this might actually improve some of those processes too. If you've kind of tracking your super tags over time and how they change, rather than changing them all, you can kind of like demarcate the different changes.
Yes,
so yeah,
I like the change. The done state value is a separate thing. I'll try and be super brief. It's inside, and there'll be videos for both of these in the community to explain it as well. Inside a super tag config, you can map the checkbox, the state of the checkbox on an instance, to a field. So you can say that when you click the checkbox, this field, the status field, is set to done. If you unclick it, the status field is set to in progress. You can decide how you change these fields based on the done state. And this had some problems. It wasn't always reflected when you change the value not by clicking the checkbox, but instead by, for instance, changing just the field value. And you could do this without really thinking about it. If you have like Kanban boards set up and you drag a node from in progress to done, you are changing the field value and the checkbox. And the way this worked kind of, well, sometimes it didn't reflect the value the best way. And also, like you wouldn't be able to get like a done time, the done time field, the same way you would if you click the checkbox. And the done time could be important if you're tracking like the tasks that your team have completed the today, or you've completed the last week, or you want to sort by like last completed. So making this change makes the done state as well. You can now just change the done state by changing the field value. So that's a lot of technical. Both of these things important for mobile, important for speeding up Tana. But that's the change.
Okay. Yes, I can see Fabio and Kate saying they use default values on super tags. So absolutely keep us posted on this. It is something that is required for mobile in the sense that it changes or makes performance possible, but certainly listening. So we'll take that feedback to the team and we can go from there too.
I use default values for everything. I use it for pretty much every tag. So yes. This is something I'll feel a lot, and I like it.
All right, Theo's jumped in as well. Can you? I'm not entirely sure how to add that, but he's given it. Yes, you can still have defaults. Just to be clear, just that you change the default at a later date. The existing instances will.
Yes,
this guy is getting annoying, Theo.
It's this with the answers. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's move on. So default field values. We'll fly through the rest of one. A couple of small fixes to banner images. First, when you generate images with AI, we now show a loading state, so you see what's happening. You're not just waiting and there's a blank space. And the second thing is, you can, if you apply a banner image to an instance of a super tag, you can right-click that and say, actually use this for all instances of this super tag. And the way it worked before is we moved that image to the tag banner, which would mean that if you deleted it from the tag later, it would also be deleted from this original node. And now we don't. Now it stays on that node. So a couple of fixes to how banner images work.
Yeah.
We've added a new type of system field called the path field. Well, it's always been there, but now you can kind of do some more stuff with it. And it's basically a field that shows where a node lives, like a breadcrumbs in a field form. And you can use this for searches, but like the most kind of, for some people, this will be useful. A relevant use case would be something like this, where I have a normal search in list view for ideas, and I have set the display, I've set the path field to display here. Oh, excuse me. Whoops. Yeah, so now you can see that for every one of these ideas, I'll zoom in, I can see where they live. This lives in this sales meeting, this lives here, this lives here. So if this is useful to you, the path field will be useful to you. That's a change. Okay. And we now support embedding of YouTube playlists. Yay. All right, and there's some other updates here, and you wanted to talk about these, Matt.
Yeah, I just threw them in. Firstly, the credit card update that was announced by Ulav yesterday or this morning for me, which was awesome. So some great feedback on that. Now you don't necessarily need a credit card to trial Tana Core or to sign up. So you can jump in straight away, which is great. And the other one was... Hilda was asking for some feedback on a few things, particularly the invite process. So she put out a message in Slack in the feedback channel looking for feedback on that. So Typeform up there, please look in the feedback channel on Slack and feel free to add some stuff there too.
Awesome.
Great. Yep, cool.
Right. So then we are jumping over to the community corner.
Okay, yes. So I also wanted to take the opportunity to highlight some of the stuff that is happening in the community. There's so much cool stuff all the time. And obviously we do the search node and try and keep on top of it. But certain things stand out, and a few from the last few weeks. Firstly, Click to Tana. So a web clipper from Brett, who released this to the community and also updated it this week to now use the input API, so you can clip something to Tana and it will show up in your inbox or whatever node that you select for the with the input API. So if you're looking for a web clipper in Tana, it's pretty straightforward to install. Brett put some good instructions both in the GitHub as well as in the Slack post and how to do it. I might record a video on how to do it as well, but it's really straightforward. Install it as a Chrome extension. You've got the button on the top of your browser. It can either output as Tana Paste, so you can copy straight from it to Tana, or you can set up now with an API, which makes it even simpler. So yeah, awesome work, Brett, and very cool to see. Ev put out a video a few days ago on the bullet journal process and how to do that in Tana, and with a super tag system there with task, events, and notes. I don't use the bullet journal myself, but it was really nice overview. What do you do daily journaling, Brage, or anything like that?
So I don't do daily journaling. I'd love to. I'm trying to be better at it. I actually have like a family journal system in Tana, which is kind of nice. Do you want to see it real quick?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So this, I've kind of scrubbed it a bit. This is just my family workspace. And inside like our family tracker, we have a family diary. And this works so that if you tag something with this is diary in Norwegian, this automatically pulls the nodes from wherever you tagged it into this workspace that we've shared, so both can see it. And then you have like every moment, and then you have just using field values, tables of more specific, like fun events, and then practical information, like we had an electrician visiting. So just basically happenings and sorting them using this like one basic tag for all of those things.
Was that in your fun events category, the electrician showing up to?
Yeah, that's the fun event, and this is kind of the problems, the birthday barbecue. That's the practical information.
Very good. Yes, I'm a big fan of journaling as an idea, and clearly, Ev's published a few videos on this now. The bullet journal is probably a methodology that, I'm aware of but don't use, but journaling more generally is very powerful, and I can see the value of it. Just accumulate over time, things that you don't remember, etc.
Yeah.
So, Fabio, good comment in the chat there too. I'll throw that up. Yeah. So yes, Fabio, seeing those a daily bullet journaling for 1.5 years, it's the best analog system I know. Without keeping up. Yeah. I think just seeing things accumulate over time, just so powerful for motivation as well as insight. Matthew Dix is a guy that I'm familiar with. Dix, he did this thing called Homework for Life, where he talks about the idea that daily journaling is a methodology or practice that allows you to make sure that you record the things that matter, and over time then you can see those things accumulate as well. And I guess on that too, my own process, maybe shouldn't make it about us, but why not? I do this with my daughter. Started last year, so she's starting to read, and kind of every day we do, or night we record our reading process, and she kind of now starts to record a voice, a summary of, not a summary in a traditional note-taking sense, but more just like what did we do, so we could record a voice and hear all the things she does. So
that's
to
lovely.
see these accumulate over time with both my son and daughter, very cool to see. So and there's some really great stuff there in the chat. Penny describes that as very powerful too.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. Great. All right, Glenn, 30 years of journaling. Amazing.
Holy cow.
Yes, that would be a
well
lot
done,
to cover. Yeah. Very cool. Okay, next one. What else was in there? Andre released the Orbital template. So do you know Orbital, the band, Brage?
No,
90s classic band. Andre kind of looks like he could be in Orbital as well.
Oh, really?
Yes, but he's released a template called Orbital, and I think he starts the YouTube by saying, like, here's everything I've learned from about Tana for the last 2 years, and I'm giving it away to you in this template for free. So incredible template in terms of what it can do, in terms of tasks, etc. And probably too long to cover here, but yeah, check out the YouTube, a template for people with tasks and meetings who run meetings. So very much worth the time to look up and see that. I'll put out a link to that as well. And probably the final one I wanted to mention was App Notes from Andrea and Mark as well. So App Notes seems to be a new duo between Andrea and Mark, and they've obviously got a few things to do or coming, but they started with that epic 100 Tana tips video, which was
great
released
video
in the community over the last few weeks. Hey Andrea in the chat. Yeah, just want to say incredible video, so much detail in it, so many amazing tips. 100 Tana tips. How many did you know, Brage?
I think I knew most of them. I don't think anything really surprised me. Some were like, "Oh yeah, I remember." That's pretty.
All right. Well, should I test you?
Test me on the Tana tips.
All right. Can you hear? Let's do this. Okay.
So we can't hear it, so you just have to ask the questions, I think.
Okay. How do you change the color of your super tag?
Simple. Top of the content template inside your super tag config.
Unfortunately, that's incorrect. No, not. Yes, that's right. Next one. Let me see. Okay. How can you create a search node?
A couple of ways. You can start a empty node with the question mark. That'll let you open a search node. You can use the / and then select create search node, or you can use Command K find and then find directly a simple thing you're looking for.
Okay, I might just, rather than trying to look it up, I might just see what. So I'll put the transcript in here so we can see what AI says. So on an empty node, hit the /, yes, type your super tag name and hit enter. And search node will already created with any new search tag.
Pause. Matt, pause for a second. I just want to clarify what you just did to the viewers. So but what you've done now, I presume, is that you have fetched the YouTube's transcript using the YouTube caption fetcher in like the tool inside Tana. I would presume that's where you have this transcript. Okay, so you've used that, and now you've copied that into the integrated AI chat, and you're using that to kind of ask questions about this video.
So now that we've got the transcript in there, this is the full transcript for Andrea and Mark's video. And then if you press escape, it will bring up the toolbar. And if you press AI chat, it has got the transcript as the context for what you are asking AI about. So if I ask anything about this video, I can get it. So let's say, what should we ask?
What should
go for it, Brage.
Yeah. What is the call to action if they want more information? If a viewer wants more information?
All right. Let's see. Join the email list in the description. So that must have been.
This is so cool.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So just to summarize, like you have captions, you can get captions into Tana automatically using a tool, and then you can use Tana AI to kind of ask questions about videos. Yes, I just wanted people to know that this is magical, because it is magical, and I think you did it so smoothly that people might not have noticed that that's the workflow you're doing. All right, let's keep going. This is
okay. I think that's it for me. Unless you want to answer some. How do you create a to-do node?
A to-do node?
I want to keep testing you, Brage. This is actually fun.
Yeah. Do you mean just get a checkbox? A to-do node?
Yeah.
I'm
sorry, the time is up. Is that your final answer?
Yes. Command enter.
Yes, command enter. Let's see if it was command plus enter. Excellent. Great. What's the next one?
Easy, Andrea. Too easy. You need to make 100 more tips to challenge us. Okay.
Yeah. Adding fields to your notes. How do you add fields to your notes?
Add fields. You can use the greater than symbol, or you could use the / inside the node. Then you can use escape to add that to the template if you're inside an instance of a super tag. And yeah,
Unfortunately, that's too much information. You've can't accept that answer either. Yes, shift period will do it as well. So,
so I failed. Does this mean I'm out of Tana? Am I fired?
Yeah, that's it.
Am I fired?
Yeah, final one. No, well done. That seems like Santi's in the chat too. There's a few people with answers. Yeah, we should make it the Tana quiz show. Maybe is the segment.
Okay, Matt, there's a question for you.
Yes.
What are all the ways you can make a heading in Tana? Quickly.
Geez, that actually is
all the ways.
All the ways. Well, you can obviously do exclamation mark, which will do that. What are the other ways? Nothing's coming to mind apart from that.
Well, if you select text, write some text on a line and press escape.
Yeah. Yep. So the toolbar. Yep.
Can you do with Command K?
Let's try that. Oops. No.
Well, you can. It just didn't
work.
You? All right. Well done. Okay, great. Let's move on. This is too fun. This is too much fun. Let's do this for some other community content next week.
Yeah.
And I have some insights from Andrea and Tana notes here as well. You can, if you combine it with a text processing agent, the thing we use for meeting notes, etc., you can make some really powerful stuff. Okay, let's move on.
I don't feel I did justice to these. For the orbital template from Andre is really worth seeing. Ev's bullet journal, if you're into that, and it looks like Brage, yes, you are helping me too much. Don't
want Matt to be fired. That's the reason. Okay. Great. So does that mean we can check the community?
Actually, I think
resources?
We've got a bit more time for a few more questions actually from that.
No. We have to get to the next section.
We're not doing this, Brage.
Yes, come on. This is what the people want. This is the only. Did you like the overlay that I've made for you?
Yes.
Okay. So for people not in the know, as you can see, Matt, the Australian Matt, has a very suspicious nickname similar to the Australian breakdancing Olympian, who was such a meme during the Olympics in Paris. And the reason is he is obviously in some cohorts, and we want to see the choreography that you've made. So with no further ado, go.
Do you want me to do that?
No. Oh god.
Yeah, I can't zoom out, unfortunately, Brage. So this is it.
I'm so sorry. Well, people, you missed out. Maybe next time. We'll have.
Next time.
Oh, too much fun. All right, let's just finish that. Any more questions? And I'll bring up the chat just for the end of this. So if you have any questions, any new comments will appear here on chat. Yes, we finally reached 11.
Support. Thank you for all the support. That was amazing. Sorry to disappoint, but maybe that was a better experience than the real thing. But we'll see.
Yeah. All right. No, I think I'll skim back because there might be a couple.
Yeah.
A couple of questions that we should get to since we have a couple of more minutes. Thank you so much.
Yes, Christian. Yeah.
Let's see. I can't. This is a good question. Nigel, I can't. I hope I pronounced your name right. I apologize. Second language here. Is there a way to use Tana again? Yes, there is a way to use Tana again. Join the community, and yes, Tana is very much possible.
Write to help at Tana .inc, and we can sort you out if you've left. Thanks to those who have put in some comments and are leaving. Yeah, Kate, thank you. Glenn too. Sally, yes. AI to animate. Asia, thank you. Really fun.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Should we do this regularly, Brage? I think that was a kind of okay success. Maybe
if you want us to do this regularly, I think that this is the way to do it. If this is something you want to see regularly, please let us know, and let us know what you want us to add, remove, and what you want to see more of. because this is a lot of fun for us as well.
Yeah. Yeah, API, I'll keep talking through some of these things that are showing up, but API was something that Grim discussed as dependent on some of the things that we're working on currently. So not right now, but next chapter or in the future.
Yeah, great. All right. I think, did we use the meeting agent for this? We didn't know. I didn't use it for this, but I could use it for
Sounds
the
like-
recording, I suppose.
That sounds like Olav every meeting. Where's the meeting agent?
Yeah. All right. So last time, okay, awesome. Let's actually just give it a couple of minutes because I want to hear what people have to say. So they want us to do this
Okay.
again. Great. We hear
Yeah.
you loud and clear. We'll some form of this in a couple of weeks or in a month. We'll see when we have enough to talk about, enough stuff happening. And if again, any suggestions, any questions, stuff you want us to talk about, let us know in the community. Ping Matt or Brage. That's the best way to talk to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
or Faye.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, please, Matt, go on.
I just wanted to say, yeah, reach out to any of us. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah. And yes, we'll use the meeting agent next time. Somehow we'll include the meeting agent in the live stream. Maybe not so you can see it.
Yeah, we're going to have the transcript and we'll bring that in, so it's not a problem.
Yeah. And I've had a couple of meta questions. What like software are we using for the live streams? It's something called Restream. It's just a way to stream to all platforms. It's okay. I have thoughts, but if you wanted to know, it's Restream. That's the software. No endorsements. Okay, every couple of days is a bit too often, but
yes, I need to sleep, Fabio.
Yeah. Okay. So the last AMA was ended quite abruptly and professionally, some would say. But Matt, should we just say bye?